the adjusted annualized relapse rate was 0.2 in the methylprednisolone and 0.33 in the placebo group, which is a reduction of 38%. I don't know whether you are aware that these immunomodulatory drugs against placebo have an effect of about 30% reduction in relapse rate. So this was a further 38% reduction by combining with methylprednisolone. What was quite puzzling was that the major effect was seen in the first year of treatment, while the difference wasn't that big in the second and third year. How this should be interpreted is not yet quite clear. The last secondary objective was the absolute change in the brain parenchymal fraction. It's an MRI outcome that look at basically it looks at the brain volume and see whether this changes over time. And it should be rather sensitive, and it's obvious from other studies that the brain shrinks when you have MS over years. But we found no difference in the two groups here. It shrank about 2 to 3% over these 3 years. It's a rather high reduction compared to other studies, and it might be the population that determines that, a rather active group. However, the difference was not statistically significant. So we had a lot of tertiary outcomes too, and I'll only mention a couple of these. One was that we had a new scale included in this study called the Ms Impairment Scale. It is invented at the Danish MS Research Center in Copenhagen, and it fulfills the psychometric principles in a much better way than the EDSS. And what was rather special here was that we had a statistically better effect on that scale by combining with methylprednisolone than with placebo itself, which was not the case for the EDSS. So this validation of the MS Impairment Scale will go on. The last thing I'll mention is the Tertiary Mri Outcomes, because we measured, as we always do in these studies, the T1 lesion volume and the T2 lesion volume, and both showed statistically significant difference in the benefit of the combination treatment. So my final conclusion will be that although this study is principally negative in terms of the primary outcome, there are so many secondary and tertiary outcomes that support the idea of combining interferon beta with a pulsed steroid treatment. Thank you.